Yeah, pretty much. Yep. I went ahead and reinvested the gems. I thought about it for a while, and then I basically, I guess here's where we're at, right? Okay. You can tell I got 200,000 gems, so I dumped all of it. But we're at a gold faith now. We're almost at another cup. Okay. We're not that far away. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know, what would I rather have? Another gold cup that I could have sit there and wait until I can get Crusher? Or do I just get another mythic cup? And after thinking about this, I've decided I don't care about the gems that much, and I'd rather have a mythic cup. I don't care if it's 7 million gems, because it didn't cost me anything for the gems, really. That's just more of a byproduct of all those tokens. Which, I mean, yeah, is it worth it? Probably not. But, you know, I'd rather have it before KBK. I'd rather have, if I can get it, I'm gonna try. You know, if it's in the middle of KBK, so be it. The worst thing that can happen here is I don't hit a jackpot. The best case, I do hit a jackpot, I'll still have a mil. Maybe I'll have a mil and a half. You never know. I mean, hell, we burned like 20,000, and we were almost 6 or 7 million after it. So, I mean, I say that, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad to dump that much and expect it to potentially hit it again. You know, I'm running my luck here, but I don't mind it. Yeah, I have. So I've basically got Bon Appetit completely done. I have Huey Hops completely done. You know, as far as, you know, achievements go, I actually got the Gold Faith. And then I have not one, but 4 of the portraits now for the Dragon Slayer. So, I mean, I decided that the portraits are going to be a pain, though. If a person wants the portraits, that's going to be an astronomical amount of money. Because I can tell you, I've dumped a little over 300, and I didn't even get close. I only got like a couple of portraits. It's like basically expected to be like $100 per portrait. It feels like, anyway. Although once you get past like 300,000 holy stars, I could show you, I guess, instead of just sitting here talking about it. All right, but what I'm saying is like, I even thought I'd try and take my shot at the Labyrinth challenge a little bit, so I did. So the tier rewards and stuff, I've already pretty much gone through and spent 330,000, as you can see. And to get to the next tier, it's, you know, you've got to spend a lot of freaking money to get like anywhere down here, you know? Now the thing is even though I'm not top, I'm like number 4 right now for the challenge, at least amongst these people. I'm probably going to have a hard time staying in the top 5. But the thing is let's say you're number 4, number 2, number 3, or even number 1. That's 90. You know, so the closer you are to that final number, the better. That it's tempting to just try and keep up with the Jonases there and try and see if I could actually get it. The thing is that's kind of interesting though is that, so if you click on this tab here and go to change skin, you'll see I have 9 out of 120 right now. So I'm not like far off. But again, the biggest thing here is I actually got my faith done. At least, you know, where it's now at. And I'm going to stop where I'm at on the faith and start working on the helm now. And so the helm's my next frontier. I'll work my way up to a complete helm. I'll stop where I'm at on the faith. Because now that I have a gold faith, I'm happy with that. And so I'm going to basically try and get this done. And then, if at all possible, I'll try to get the Crusher too. But I think getting the Crusher is going to be a lot more challenging. Just because I'm not actively trying to do it, you know? It's like, I could, but it's a stupid amount. Now, the only other thing, I guess, is there are Star Scrolls being mentioned here, I guess. And I have 90 of them. But, like, as you can tell, you need 615 to fix the internal flame, so not really a lot I can do about that. I'd have to buy packs for that if I wanted it. But, you know, beyond that, I don't know. I mean, we'll rack up as many Bon Appetit chests as we can grab. And with any luck, we might have another mythic cup. That's our hope here. So, we're just going to go to town and see what happens. But that's where we're at. And it's absolutely astronomically ridiculous, but I don't know, man. It's just it's the way this game is. But I think I can achieve another mythic cup, and then once I have another mythic cup, I'll need to work on jewels, because I'm severely lacking in cav. Like, I need a lot of jewels still. I need a lot of cav jewels. Like, I'm still lacking some attack jewels and stuff like that. That'll be the next thing I splurge on in the next couple of weeks. And I'm also doing artifact coins simultaneously, so I'm racking up coins too. I'm going to save those. That may take considerably longer though. But there eventually we'll have a stream where I think we'll either do 1 million or 2 million. I'm not really sure. I might save it until I have 2 mil just so that I can gloat that I spent 5,000 the first time and then 5,000 again the second time. Did the chest limit twice. Just to say that I can. You know, because I think that'd be kind of cool. So, but for now, I'm opening myself up to a whole lot of hurt here, because this is definitely, you know, it's a lot of gems to burn. But I think if anything, if we get a good return on our investment here, it'll be worth it. Because not only are you getting all these speeds and gems and speed ups and resources, and you know, it's like it's kind of a double whammy, you know, in a way. So I don't really mind it, because I'm going to use it more than likely, especially the elixirs. One thing I kind of noticed is it's like I've got 500 elixirs, so if I can rack up even a couple hundred more elixirs, I'll have enough for Gargantua too. So that down the road, if I decide that, hey, I want to get Gargantua maxed up, I could do it, you know. It'll open the doorway to that. But the main thing is we're going to ultimately get our Mythic Cup, and then we'll have a pair of Mythic Cups, and we can use those instead of, you know, well, I mean, at least having a Gold Cup is nice, but I'd rather have another Mythic Cup. And then I'll be just jewels at that point. That's all we'll be working on from that point forward. Probably like 4 golds, roughly. It's not as many as you'd think. Yeah. Went ahead and dumped all 7 million gems applied back into tokens. So that's where we're at. And hopefully we can get Mythic Cup. Because we've already got one, so hopefully we'll get another. All I can ask for right now is, you know, I get a couple 100,000 more gems. And then, you know, a couple of bits and pieces here and there. Yeah, Clyde, you know, I like I've been telling people, there was a point in time when I was playing Lawrence Mobile for 24 hours straight. All day, every day. And I remember doing that. And my soul, you would think I'd get burned out, but I was genuinely just like I am now, just sitting here talking, and this is the type of shit I'd do. So long. My main account got, like, practically built that way. My alt is, you know, is comparable. I will say that Dragon Slayer is a pain, though. I've got 9 out of 120 on the portraits right now. That guy is expensive. I was thinking, oh, that might be common. No, that shit is not going to be common. There's going to be maybe 5 of the top, maybe not even that. There might be only, like, the top 100 players getting anywhere near that. Because getting the portraits is not cheap. That's like literally double-digit thousands. That's like double-digit. That's probably in north of $5,000. Because even at 500, I only just barely got some of the portraits. The crazy part is that shit refreshes daily, so during the event, it's like I'm not even sure how much a person can burn, but you can probably burn enough to the point where you hit at least 1 million. I know there's a guy that's got 1 million already. So quantifying it in such a way, it's like it's a stupid number. All I know is, it's like past a certain point, it's just not like, it's definitely not reasonable, like for most people. But I was curious, and that's the thing about curiosity for me, is I'm going to do it just to see what that actually looks like. And then I can tell people, hey, what is that actually reasonable? No. Like, no, doing this many tokens, like, now we're probably north of 30k across, like, a span of 3 days, right? So we're doing approximately 10,000 tokens a day. Right around. It's just, it's a little stupid how many tokens that is, but what's even crazier is the fact that even though I've done that, the chest drops, we never got a gold from. I think the most we got for chest drops on a Bon Appetit, like, that was, oh hell, I was like maybe a couple purples, but that was it on chests. Yeah, most people would be. But, see, I like to think in terms of, like, okay, for example, like, I deal with Astrolite Mythic Champ players. So if I'm sitting in, say, even a pair of Mythic Cups and a Gold Faith, and then Mythic pieces all across the board with a Mythic pair of Strides, and I'm working at, hopefully having a Mythic Champ helm, it's like, you put that up against some of the top players in the game, and you're gonna basically walk all over them, in a way. And that's kind of my goal, is I'm trying to build something that is going to be pretty fucking hard to, I mean, somebody that's mid-tier is going to get completely walked on. And so it's just a matter of getting there at this point. That isn't to say I look at, like, Duck Hunter's Trap, right? And Duck Hunter's Trap is still better than mine. However, if I continue to go at the pace that I'm going, and I will probably catch up. So it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just, nobody really thinks about the astronomical cost associated to getting an account like that, though, to where it's at, especially from scratch, because that's north of 10 grand easily. I mean, I'm thinking this account now is probably around 20k now in total, and that's over the span of a year and a half that I know of. That's not counting the 3 years plus that I played it free to play for the most part. So, anyway, yeah, I'm hoping for good things, that guy. I am absolutely hoping. Last 4-away KVK, I did 35 million score for solo, but this time I don't know. I think the last KVK I did 100 and... No, it wasn't 100, it was like... What was it? It was a pretty high number last KVK. It was higher, I think it was around 240. It might have been 300 even. Because I took like 6 or 7 rallies. And this guy just kept sending mixed rallies, and I kept eating them. And so I just kept doing it. Which, consciously speaking, it's like probably not a good idea to consistently eat rallies like that, but it was kind of fun at the same time, because I started to pick up on what he was doing, and then I just found ways to counteract it. The one trouble I have right now is I'm really low in cav, as far as cav damage goes. And even though I'll get this cup, that's still not going to help address the cav issue. All this is going to do is improve the imp and range damage, if anything. Which is fine in my book, like I'd rather get that sorted, but in order to really correct for the actual cav DPS, I'm going to have to go into jewels, and I'll probably need to get that champ helm. There's a couple of other things I'll have to tweak in order to really make it work. And most of that starts in artifacts, I think, and while I could go down the Astrolite path, I don't know if I will right away. That's one of those expenses that, like Astrolite, being compared to artifacts, they're almost hard to put a number to because of just how much is invested in those. But I would expect that, you know, if I were to just slow roll it, do the monthly pack and the 7-day, and I just do that for like a year, then it's within reason. It's just getting there. It's going to be a pain. But I don't know, you know, worst case scenario, we don't win a jackpot, and we don't get a Mythic Cup. That's worst case scenario. In which case, I'll at least be closer to a Mythic Cup than I was prior to not, you know, because I could have chose to not do that. Had the 7 mil gems, and had a cup, a gold, and a Mythic Cup, along with a gold fade. And I could have just been just as happy, probably. But there's some part of me that kind of thinks about that and thinks in terms of, like, what is it exactly that I want from this? And it all comes down to the same answer, which is that I will eventually want a Mythic Faith anyway. And I don't really care what it takes to get there. Well, so I started out with 23,000 tokens, right? And out of the 23,000 tokens that I burned, I then proceeded to have 7 million gems when it was done, not but a few hours ago. I then took all 7 million gems and dumped it back into tokens, so I now have another 11,000 on top of the 23,000 or so that I used. So now we're looking at almost total-wise of around 33,000 or so tokens in the span of 3 days. It's been about 10,000 tokens a day. So we've been kind of at this a little bit crazier than most people ever really do on stream, but you know, I don't care. We're gonna go, and we're gonna get that Mythic Cup, and that's that. Like that's that. I am not gonna joke around. We will get Mythic Cup by the end of this stream. I will not fuck around. That will be achieved. I do not care what it takes to get there, but we will get there. Elon Musket. Now that's a name. I actually kind of like that name. Which, I don't know. I mean, I've called myself the Rickish Rick for a while on this account, and at one point I even called it VeggieTale, and I think before that it was like, I've got some pretty funny names though. Freaking God, it's funny to think about though. The gold chests here and there. Alright, it's fine. Another win. It is way cheaper this way. I mean, I probably could have chose not to dump all 7 million gems, right? But I'm of the opinion that even though I'm probably going to dump 7 mil, I'm probably also going to get a mil back. Maybe. And I'm not, how do you say, gems are not sacred. I mean, I could hold on to them until I have double-digit millions, and I could flaunt around, but it's meaningless to me to have that. I've thought about it long enough. I was like, you know, it would be nice to have that much. But then it's like, well, what are you going to do? Nothing? Well, that's pointless. You know, it's like, what's the point in having them if you're never going to use them? It's like a toy. If you're not going to play with the toy, that's illogical. Therefore, it's logical to spend the gem. And if the cost of spending the gems is a Mythic Cup, that's worth it. Because the alternative is you spend for it. This way I've already spent for it, and I still win. Monetarily, I feel as though that's probably better for me anyway. This has been a pretty expensive week, say the least. But I don't know, man. It's an interesting predicament, I think. Where is my bot for Dixford? That is the question. Why is that mysteriously not around? Now, mind you, I don't know if anybody else knows about this, but right. So if you want to play around with Dixburg and you want to play with it during the stream, I actually have a link for it you guys can use to claim, and it's just free crates for people to just play with, just to kind of see how it works and all that jazz. So this is basically the link. You're welcome to just click on it, claim it, and then you can even basically pop stuff in the middle of the game, which is kind of nice. Let's see here. I need to figure out what the deal is with our bot, though. Why are the bot missing? Timers are on and everything. I wonder how come it's like. I guess that's not really that big of a deal. So I can kind of just show you. Right, so like, for example. Yep, that's funny. Yeah, that is so funny to me. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Well, plus, there's even like, so, like, for example, I gotta keep adding skills, is what I need to do. Because I've got a handful of skills in there now, but we need to expand that. We need like some skills for like, I don't know. Is there like collections for Grand Theft Auto? Shooters, roleplay, controller. The suffering. What is that? He's got like some of these memes. Let's see. Flip the screen upside down. Oh, bro. Hang on, we're gonna import this one because this one's got like all sorts of shit in it that I actually think I'd use. Hang on. We'll poke around inside here. There's some ones in here that I'm kind of curious about. Lock my keyboard and mouse? Wait, what? Does that do? Doesn't look like it does anything. Yeah, that one's kind of useless. However, this one I think people might know. You guys might know this. Oh shit. Hang on, let me turn this on. You can actually see it. The thing is I forget that I actually have these hang on a minute. Let me copy these over and bring them over into my other. What I need to do. But that is, of course, assuming I can paste them. Okay, there we go. Paste those on top of there. I'll go here. Paste it on top of there. Mark those in place. Okay. Alright. Alright. Then we don't necessarily need this one anymore. We can actually just go ahead and get rid of this. Put it here. And... oh shit, dude. I burned like 23,000 tokens. I had 7 million gems, and I burned all 23,000 tokens and proceeded to take all 7 million gems and dump it into another 11,000 tokens. So we have now spent somewhere akin to like, well, I don't know. We're almost at, we're going for 33,000 total tokens spent, but we're a little over 23,000 tokens right now. But all right, so we're gonna play this now. Let's see what does this do. This should work, I think. Yeah, there it goes. So we can add like a couple of these memes in here. Why not? A bunch of them in here. We'll throw these in here, because these are some pretty funny memes. But you want how many halos? Well, okay, so right now I've got a mythic cup done. Normal wins, but I won one jackpot so far. So I won 1.1 million gems, and the rest of it was all accrued. As for the number of halos, we're currently 1 out of 13 to a mythic. So hopefully by the end of the 10,000 or so tokens, we will have hit our total. That's the hope anyway. Let's see. Probably grab these and then we'll add these in here too. Why not? Import these and bring them in. Okay. So there's a handful from that. Let's go into, because that one's kind of funny. There's some memes in here that may be a little too bad. Yeah, roughly around 500, yes. And with 10,000, I think we'll be able to get to it. Any luck. Because that's what, 2 golds per 1,000, right? And we've got 10 of those, so that ought to get us to 10. And I've already, I should be able to get pretty close. With the drops on the chests, I think we'll probably break even. Right on the money. That's the hope, anyway. Let's see. Look around in here for a bit. So there's some collections for Dead by Daylight. A couple for World of Warcraft, Diablo. I wonder if anybody's got like some collections for and if not, no big deal. It's just we'll come up with our own. Yes, X-Men. We are not done yet. We burned all 7 million gems and we're dumping it back into tokens, and we are going to get our next mythic cup. By God. I will not stop until it is done. I don't care what it takes. We will get there. What we did do, though, is get a gold faith. So we got a gold faith, and then I have 9 of the portraits for the new dragon skin. I've got 9 portraits. That thing is a money sink, though. Like, it is. That is actually a lot worse than I thought it was. I was thinking it was kind of bad, but I figured maybe the upscaling would be there, but it's not. It's just bad. Well, there's no easy slice of pie in that. It is just bad. But anyways, all right. So I think I've added enough skills. And again, you guys, if you're wanting to play, yes, I do. If you guys want to play skills and stuff like that, you can claim them from Dixper. If you want to play like random skills and stuff like that. which just, you know, everything from, like, for example, like this. And these are all within the collection, which is kind of fun. But this one I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, but you can play these, you know, at any time, at any point that somebody wants to, anyway. That's the cool thing about these. And we'll probably make some, too. It's just right now, these are kind of like what we have available to us, so. But this one here, it's like... text to speech. Or how this works. It says something something, but I can't read what it says. Okay, well I'm just gonna toss it then, because I don't know what it does. No point in beating a dead horse, so to speak. Alright. Alright. Yeah, but I think I got all of them. So, anyways, it gives us kind of some selections. I'll have to make some though. We'll probably do that some more later today. Make some more interactables. If you guys have suggestions on skills and stuff that you guys would like to see, though, let me know. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool. Because you can do everything from, like, modify what happens in a game to, like, make shit appear on screen. There's so many different things we can do to kind of get it to where people can kind of interact with the stream in a different way. And I don't mind doing, like, crate drops just so people can play with them, too. Kind of cool. Alright, so here we go again. They're 10,000 tokens. Now, I don't know if we'll hit jackpot, but it'd be kind of funny if we end up actually getting most of our gems back. That would be like the most broken thing ever, though. If, like, you could dump all of your tokens back in and get all of your gems back out, and so you could conceivably just continue. Like, that would be the funniest life hack that, you know, nobody knew anything about, but it's like the law of, you know, odds would suggest that that's probably somewhat true. You know, so like if I burn 7 mil, that in theory I should be able to get at least a quarter of it back. Which is just kind of nutty. Now, obviously it won't be like the full return, probably. But it also depends on whether you win the jackpot or not. Because if you do, that could be higher or lower, depending on how that pans out. Then again, main focus here is not so much the gems, it's getting the goddamn halos. So I need the halos in order to be able to have a mythic cup, and God forbid if we're gonna not have a mythic cup, damn it. We must have the mythic cup. We must. At all costs, we must have the mythic cup. The mythic cup is the way. Our ungodly favored thing. Now, of course, when KVK finally pops up and stuff, we can probably kind of explore that a little bit and see how that pans out. But that's, you know, that's a thought for another day. I'm going to open up my main account while you guys are launching my alt. I'm going to see what we have in store for ourselves here on I actually forget at what point I popped a shield on it. Okay, yeah, so I still got 24 hours. Whew. I was enough for a single mythic cup, and then enough for a gold cup. So you were pretty close, yeah. Like, I got a full 13 twice in a row, so I had it exactly 26 when it was done. And I started with a purple cup when I started, so in all actuality, after 23,000 tokens, I technically got somewhere north of 39 or so total gold when everything was all done. But that was also counting the chest drops with it, so that kind of skews it a little bit. But not enough for it to be, like, noticeable. It probably gave me maybe a gold or two, maybe 3, maximum. But that's one of the things where it's like, for the most part, yeah, your numbering was correct. So now we decided to burn all 7 million gems and do it exactly again, so that we can get the cup that we have at gold to mythic now. Which I think we can achieve with 10,000 tokens. We've already had 1 out of 13, so I think we can get it. I think. I'm just hoping the chest drops, if I fall short of it, I'm hoping the chest drops will cover the rest. Is my hope. I don't know if it will, but, you know, one can pray. Okay. Alright. That's a good thing, because... Yeah, no, but the funny thing, too, is it's like... been a bit of a journey getting to this point. It's taken some time. I think once we have the cup to mythic, then we'll have 2 mythic cups. And then I got a gold faith. I actually went ahead and rolled a little over 7,000 gem chests. And got a gold faith now. So there's that. And then I also have 9 portraits of Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer is not cheap. I was thinking that'd be like a really common hero. That's not. It's not going to be at all. There's not going to be that many people that have it. The few that actually do are going to be like heralded as gods. Because the few that actually do have it are probably going to be Mythic Champ Plus, but that thing is not cheap. Not even a little bit. Not for like a couple of hundreds. It's probably in the it's north of a couple $1,000s at least. Has to be. The only thing I'm lacking now is cav jewels. I'll have to like dump some cav jewels onto my alt. Which, now that I think about it, I've got like 400,000 gems. I wonder if I should just dump 400,000 gems worth of chests onto that alt of mine. Because I could do that. Let's just go ahead and give myself a bunch of purple chests. And give myself like 300,000 gems worth, which is 50 chests. That's the thing. I've got Champ Strides at Mythic. I have a helm now I'm working on that's at blue. But I have a gold fave. And so then, you know, it's just a matter of working on that. But yeah, I think I'll go ahead and I'm going to dump 300,000 gems onto Rickish Rick. Give it 50 or so jewel chests and see if we get any luck. I mean, because for my main account, it's not that big of a deal because I literally, like, gain gems passively. Because I'm sitting, like, in the top 10. At least roughly for the Labyrinth and stuff, so it's like really not too bad. Yeah, I see that's just it. I could finish the Faith and then have a Mythic Faith. And then I can do the Helm too. So. Yeah, I just went ahead and dumped. Well, I've dumped 7 mil in gems just in tokens for this account, but I just dumped another 300,000 gems and jewel chests onto it now, too. Let's see here. If I can... I'm trying to hit teams now while this thing's going. I'm not having very much luck in the Coliseum, though. Keep losing. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it. Well, let's try doing Tracker. Maybe Tracker's the hidden weapon here that I need. Nope, Tracker's not the hidden weapon. Damn it. Well, that's fine. I'm at 49. It's not like the worst thing in the world. Ah, boy. Hey, what's up, Air? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, my main account's not doing too bad. It's just gonna take some time. Let's see, where am I at on troops though? Oh yeah, I could probably build some T4s. Yeah, I did. I hit a single jackpot, so I had 1.1 mil. I had 7 million gems when I was done there, and then I dumped all 7 mil gems back into tokens. I shouldn't say 7 mil, it was like 7.6 mil. It was closer to 8 million gems. I can increase the training speed. I'm almost positive I can. Let's see. Crank that up all the way if I can. I want to not be efficient. Training troops. Alright, here we go. Yep. This would be the second cap. The third accessory is a gold faith, which I may turn into a mythic faith, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. Trying to get champ to 14 crimson mains at gold is kind of painful. So trying to do it again is going to be kind of painful again. But I don't know whether I do that or not. I don't. But I take a moment. I'll show you. We took a quick little break here, so we're already at 300k, so we're not doing that bad. But so right now, this is where we are, and I just need, looks like, yeah, we're getting there. But as far as this goes, this is where we're at. I'd like to get my Skull Crusher to Mythic 2. It'd be nice. Not very far along on that either. It's only 1 out of 9, but the different thing. But I've got plus 12 Astra on the mitts. I'll probably do Astra on strides, and then the plate, and then I'll probably start working on the rest. Wish I hadn't put Astra into the sword, but I also had all the spare Astra at the time, so I was just kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? But looking back on that now, I wish I hadn't done it, but it is what it is. Eventually, we'll get Gold Crusher to Mythic, and then we'll get Faith to Mythic, and then we'll also work on the Champ Helm and get that to Mythic too. So we got a lot of long-term plans here. I guess I should also show the the portrait for this guy. I've got 9 out of 120 right now. This guy is not easy to acquire, by the way. That is not going to be easy. I hope they have alternative methods for someone to get those portraits, because otherwise that is not going to be an easy thing to get. There's only going to be a handful of people that have it. And I'm going to be one of the few people that has 9 out of 120 portraits, but it's like, it's kind of like the guy, it's like the guy that has like that participation trophy and that like walks into a room and is like, I have a gray version of an 11k hero. It's not a waste. It's good to use for 424. Okay. Alright. Well, because I was thinking more along the lines of having, like, had I dumped the Astra back into the strides, or had I dumped it into plate, that I would have gotten a little bit more out of it, but I don't know. In hindsight, I guess it all works out. Number 1 gives 90. Yeah, I mean, that's just it, it's like, I went ahead and got myself 9 of them, so, and that's just because I had spare. So I figured, shit, why not? Might as well try. But I'm hopefully they'll have different ways to acquire it. We'll just kind of go from there, I guess. At least I don't know how many emote stamps. I haven't bothered to count the number of emote stamps I have, but I probably have a stupid number of those now. That's like right up there with like the amount of fragments and shit. Like, I haven't been counting those, but I probably have a stupid amount of these now that I'll probably use, but Oh dear. The other thing too is I've been hitting the merging pack speeds too. I wonder how many of those I've got. We'll need to use those for Jade Worm. Sooner or later, I have to work on heroes on this account too, because I haven't even bothered doing heroes. Yeah. Because I was thinking I'd try to do helmet first, and since I've got gold faith, because I was thinking, you know, it's gonna take 14 more gold mains to get there. But if I get my champ piece swapped around on my helmet, I can move out the bumble, and then whatever I have left over. Oh, well, there's 103,000 gems. Okay, well now we're back in the money a little bit. Now we just need another mill. But I mean, hell, I'll take it. Free. Yeah, almost jackpot. Yeah, I know. Crazy. Got a mill. We got 100K though. So I mean, that's not bad. Take it. Could use a jackpot though, but I mean, I'll take it. I'm not gonna be too greedy here. We've only got 10,000, you know, more. 10,000 more tips before I'll start to maybe get triggered if I don't at least hit it once. But we'll see. You know, I don't know what is going to happen here very shortly. You know, it's like I'm not sure what direction this is going to go in. Now, as far as trapping goes and the KVK, does anybody know what kind of KVK it is? I actually haven't even bothered to check. What kind of KVK do we have on our hands here? It's Kingdom Hunters? Oh, is it one of the... Is it 3 or 2? I forget. Or is that 4? Is it a 3-way, a 2-way? Hell, I forget what Kingdom Hunters is like. We got that in 6 hours, though. So, hopefully we'll be done by then. 3 plus the Home Kingdom. Okay. Alright. Well, then that'll make it interesting. It'll make it interesting. We can, you know, we can dabble a little bit into trapping and stuff like that while we're at it. So that'll be fun. It'll be kind of fun to see how the gear pans out, too. See how that works out. And like I've been saying, I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to make a keybind. I think I can, but I can make it so that like somebody could actually play this trap account from the chat, which I think would be pretty badass. I could just like sit back, let chat trap. That could be fun. Can it? Well, if I look at my main, I'm sure it probably can't, just because it's almost 2 billion. But let's try 1250. No. Apparently, accounts that are over 270 days old cannot migrate. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. And that's on my main account. On my alt, I would assume is probably the same way. Because I have had my alt for as long as I've had my main. Roughly. They're not exact by any means. I think I made the alt at the time kind of as yeah, at the time I was in a guild and they were like, oh, we need fillers, we need, you know, this, that, and the other, and I was like, okay, and I'll just make it all. And at first I don't know if anybody else has had this struggle, but like I would have the alt, but I was very lackluster with it, you know. It's like, oh yes, I don't care, you know. I just did dailies on it and eventually got it to min quests done, you know, and I was kind of just happy with the way it was. I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it. But then here we are come 2023 and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I never accepted quests on this account. And here I'm like, you know, I've had this account for several years and it never occurred to me that I had never actually hit any of the quests on it. So, you know, then I was like, well, this will make the perfect trap account. Because it doesn't have any quest might. So, oh lordy. Lordy. Oh, we got a ways to go though. Ugh, I don't know if we'll actually get all through 10. I mean, because knowing how fast it went last time, I'm sure going through all 10,000 is not going to happen all in one day either. I'm probably going to have KBK before this is even done, but I'm hoping we'll have Cup before, I'm hoping we'll have Mythic Cup before then. And if we just hit Mythic Cup, then I'll just stop where I'm at. And I can use the tokens for Gargantua. That's assuming, of course, that happens, though. I mean, it's a huge gas. Kingdom 671, huh? And see, I'm like 1.9 billion, and I'm in 439, and the kingdom that was once active is now becoming more dead. It's not as active as it used to be, but we also own everything here now, so we don't really have anybody competing for shit anymore. So you're in Kingdom 1182, and you're somebody's, a couple of you guys are in a 1,000 plus. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, see, we've never really talked about moving anywhere since we just like to kind of rule. We got access to the base and everything, so we just kind of have our own shit and kind of chill and relax. I'm sure if I went into a new kingdom, though, that like the first thing that comes to mind is like attack and kill everything at as soon as possible, right? But I don't know. I hate dragging my alt and my main around though together because the goddamn cost of moving around sucks. Juice boy. Alright, it'll take a minute. Hang on. Pop, pop, pop. You are. Now, 3 Mythic Cups, and Astrolated, and Skull Crusher. So, this is basically, the set that I'm trying to get to. I'm just not quite there yet. This is what we're trying to strive for here. That's cool. But I'm also only 565 million might too. So. Alright, let's see. Got some tokens. Pretty loaded. I kind of forget. Where are we at on gems? Okay, we have 400k. Okay. Just trying to remember. My memory sucks. Yeah, I bet. The only thing I lack right now is cav damage. I don't have enough cav stats. That's one of the problems that even going into this KVK I'm going to have. There's just not enough cav DPS. I don't have the jewels, I'm lacking a lot of things in that regard, but I also have 600% inf right now. So, it's kind of a plus getting these all the way maxed out like I have. It's just, I'll have some stats in certain places, just a little tweaked, but that's okay. Oh, what did we get? Oh, we didn't get anything good. Damn it. Damn it, IGG, don't troll me. Just give me my jackpot. Well, that's the other thing, too, is we probably have a stupid number of license to kills now, too. I didn't even think about that. We probably have a stupid number of those now. I'm gonna have people sending me their leads, and I'm gonna, crank out the frickin' licenses. like it was nobody's business because I'll have so goddamn many of them. Hmm. Weird thing is that you know, it's like my alt has always been a trap. So the concept of me using it as a, you know, like a to solo players or even rally players, I've never even really considered. But the more and more we dump into the account, the more and more I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna get to that point. Yeah, you need them for altar, yes. The main thing that comes in handy for them is, you know, if, like, for example, you know you've got a KVK coming up, you can pop a couple leaders that you grab off of wherever and then just pop a couple of licenses and you'll have the altar boost, which comes in handy. Oh, yeah, I'm the same winger. My main still doesn't have Watcher done. This alt hasn't even done Watcher, I don't think. But I wouldn't mind. I'd actually benefit from having Watcher if I would actually pay attention and actually try. You know, I actually probably could get Watcher, probably. I just half-ass it so damn much that it's one of those things that it's just kind of an afterthought. And all the while, you know, it's like some of these names though that have come through here, like Elon Musket. There's some pretty clever names that people have come up with that I've seen in here. They're pretty goddamn funny even. Some other names are kind of me. There's another uncommon. We're making some progress at least, I guess. Oh, give me jackpot. Jackpot? No, no jackpot. Damn it. Oh well. But while this goes this thing, I guess I can look at and see what start of the year set up Hefbus so I could finally start getting Watcher done. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Actually, I probably ought to do that. I need to probably start doing Watcher a little bit more seriously because 50% HP and attack for an Infure is not a bad, like, you know, as far as your training speed goes and everything tacked on, it's really not a bad deal. A person can get it. The only downside of doing streams, it seems like, is I cannot make shorts on streams for some reason. I can do a lot of things, but making streams or shorts out of streams I cannot do apparently. I'd have to download it, which is kind of shitty. But I guess it is what it is. Or if I could, like, do a clip, maybe. I'm just wondering if I can get the report of where at least grab a report of when I caught that 1 mil. Base mine is up to 778. That was. Yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, I quit too at one point, so most people don't know that. Maybe if they hadn't been watching my channel for a long time, but I did quit between 2020 and 2021. I kind of put it into the game, and then I only really started coming back until 22 and 23. That's when I was about like, yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know? It's like, when you get to that might, you know, it's like, I don't know, you know, it's like, a lot of people that get to base mites that are above 1 billion are still getting hit in a lot of the super big kingdoms. It's just now you no longer call yourself a trap, you're just a fat account. We need to, you know, if anything, we need to improve the lingo. We need a new name for somebody that's just a fat account that's just wanting to get hit. We need a new name for that, because it's not a trap. Not trying to fool you into thinking you're gonna. We're just lazy, and you know we'll take a few punches. You know, it's like, I don't know what you call that. We need a name for it. So that's what you need. Just need a new name for that. It's just not in the dictionary yet. It could be done though. It could be achieved. Like going back in my stream trying to find at what point that 1.1 mil was even earned, and I can't even find it because it's so long ago. These streams go on for so long that it's actually crazy. Oh wait, here it is. I think I found it. I told myself it was around 330. That was how I, you know, could keep my head straight on it. Let's see. Like 333, it looks like. Right, exactly at this point in time. I want to clip that. There it is. Jackal. And then I can just link it. I just burned 7 million gems for that, so... More you know. In case you're wondering where those tokens came from. Yeah, 7 million gems. Let's see. Just typing a post in the clip. Anyways, I got that post out there. God forbid there's so much. Let's see. I'm not going to be able to really make anything of value out of a lot of these streams, which is kind of crummy. I have to, like, in order to do it, I'd have to go back and edit. Which has got its advantages and disadvantages. Which I don't know, we'll probably have more content to upload when KBK finally picks up, but... watches? Oh wait, we're getting Watcher. Are we? Watcher a hell of it right now? Oh, lucky us. Well, we definitely got that. Yeah, it'd be nice to win jackpot again. I won 1.1 mil yesterday. I mean, I guess contextually, right? I spent 7 million gems for this stream. But prior to that stream, I had 5,000 gems. Stream before that, I had 10,000 gems. 10,000 gems. 10,000 tokens. And prior to that stream, I started with 22,618 or so tokens. So, after 23-ish thousand almost, we had 7 million gems, and then we dumped all 7 mil back into tokens. For another, 10,000, 11,000, like closer to 12,000 tokens, I think. So, freaking absolutely nutty. 75 tokens on average? Okay. Yeah, then we've well overshot that. I don't think we're going to have any trouble getting Watcher token medals for this time around. My main, on the other hand, let's see if we can try and get something on my main. I have my main go while we're doing this too. I don't have that many tokens on my main though. I only have 30. Just enough to make myself feel like I'm participating. There we go. There's another gremlin. There. Making handsome headway. Another halo. $40 tokens left. I don't want to gem it. Don't blame you. It's like a crazy amount of tokens to begin with. You gotta dump 75 tokens just to get Watcher medals. Kind of a pricey thing to have to do. Yeah. That's typical with these events too, though. It's like, it seems like you gotta have something to really get something at the same time. $900. Halfway though. Just one more. I have one mythic cup already, so this will be my second mythic cup. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because ultimately, right, you're... As far as Watcher medals go in my world, right? Yeah, sure, we'll hire him. Why not? Yeah, I've only got 2 out of the 20, so I've actually only just now gotten Watcher medals. like ever. So there's that. I don't know if I look at my main. So how many medals do I have on my main? Main is blue, 95 out of 100. So I'm not quite out of purple, but I'm not far from one either. Of course, yeah, I need a couple more to get the medals. Damn it. Of course, I don't have enough, so I'm not going to be able to. Oh well. That's what it is, I guess. Oh, hang on a minute. What? Okay. Anyways. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, if 500 or so roughly gets you a gold, 2 per 1,000. So I would say, you know, if you're doing 2 per 1,000, 2, 4, 6, 8, like 8 golds out of 5. So you're maybe. But the likelihood that you hit it right at 500 is pretty slim. It's usually, it varies, but it can go up as high as 700. Say it did. Instead of, just say we, you know, averaged it out to, say, just 100 in terms of possibility, right? Then you're looking at, what, 1,200? So 6, 12, 18, 24, 32. So, I mean, you know, it's like, within reason, a person can get pretty close to that number being either 12 to 13 with that amount of tokens. So yes and no. I think you could, yeah. I mean, it's close, but that might be shy 1,000 or 2. That's the only thing. You might be able to, though. But I'm doing, like, you know, so I started with 1 out of 13, and I'm dumping 10,000, or 12,000 even, just to account for the RNG. Because I've noticed where the RNG will suddenly just dip way below what your expectations are, and it just varies. The other thing too is that you might look at the cost and go, well, yeah, I'm gonna get my gold cut, but it's also like all the gems, all the, you know, all the packs, everything else that comes along with it. So it's not just one thing, it's kind of more big picture. I mean, if you end up getting like good drops on the chests, for example, that could considerably change the outcome, you know? So it's really kind of just dependent on what you end up getting. And that's, if I had to guess, it's probably closer to 6, 5 to 6. I think you can maybe hit it if you're really fucking lucky, though, at 4. But I have a feeling it's probably higher. And as many tokens as I've thrown into this, I may have overshot it, even. What? What do you want now? My answer to that. I'm gonna turn that on. It's not like she isn't getting fed, but come on, like... blow a little bit of air at her. If I don't get her to quit complaining so goddamn much. Don't have Chaos Dragon. Well, Chaos Dragon's okay, but he's not something you should focus on. He's kind of one of those things that, you know, if you just happen to find yourself doing challenge events all the time, then yeah, you can get Chaos Dragon if you can get it, but it's one of those things. You know, that's just it. Chest drops are terrible. The chest drop rate for Halos is the same as the chest drop rate in Crimson Eggs. The likelihood of hitting it is terrible. Like, we were doing the math, and it's like 0.135% chance of hitting a legendary Halo. Otherwise, it's 3% for just getting the rare itself. So, the likelihood that you actually end up getting it is so fucking tiny. Yeah, and Watchers, I mean, people will find that Watchers better, and not only for that, but for the training speed, too. Like, there's more advantages to having Watcher than there is Chaos Dragon. Chaos Dragon, though, the one thing that can be said about Chaos Dragon is he's actually tied up with Dream Witch. The weird thing is that if you care about the lore and the stories within the heroes, basically Chaos Dragon, the spear that he has actually comes from the Dragon Throne, and there's actually a hero that we have never seen before that's mentioned in his lore that he took the spear from. And there was, you know, because the thing is there's actually like kind of a weird combination of things at play there, right? I don't know if he's a brother or not, but I do know that they are friends and they know each other. I know that much with some certainty. Because Dream Witch is from the same kingdom. You know, so her name goes by Eloise in the story, but she's, if I look at the story of Chaos Dragon real fast, I can tell you for sure, but, you know, because he's Gravios. Draxido the Black is who I was thinking of. I don't actually think we've ever seen Draxido, as far as I know. And I think Draxido is just in reference to the actual kingdom. But, yeah, so Eloise is his sister, yes. That's so in his bio. But yeah, the one thing that's interesting is the Great Black Spear of Draxido sat in a museum, a trophy for the humans. And Gravios now seeks to reclaim the land of the dragons and rebuild all that was lost. Like, the main thing that I've gotten out of the gist, out of the story of Lords Mobile, though, is that Nox is actually the guy that creates all the bad things that happen. The humans go to war and end up attacking the dwarves, and they destroy the kingdom of the dragons. And they also go and, you know, like, basically the arcane people go fucking nuts. Nox and them start creating like a whole mess of different things. As far as Halos go, I think we're like, I don't know, let me look. We'll have to look. Hang on. But like the story itself is kind of interesting because like Sage's Storms or Anderson actually helps create Witchdall. And then both like your Elementalist and Magmaroid know each other. And oddly enough, Magmaroid shows up in a circus and sets it afire, and Witchdall was from a circus. There's like a whole story there, though, that, you know, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, Wandering Alchemist, even though she's a hero, she's actually evil. Because she gives concoctions to things, and she actually makes people greedy, and she's evil. Even though she's a hero in the game, she's actually evil. And she knows, like... You say they're useless, but that's like the lore of the game. It's not useless. It is relevant in the context of, like, knowing what heroes we don't know of, and don't know what we'll see one day. There will be new heroes in this game, more or less. It gives us a clue as to what we'll probably see. Which, I'm just pointing this out because that shit is it's relevant. You may not care, but I do. Now, I don't know, as far as Halos go, let's see, where are we at on that? So we've got 4, so we probably have 5 now at least. Or, yeah, 5 out of 13. But the thing is, though, right, is that, like, the lore is, you know, I mean, some people don't give any shit about it. But, like, I know for a fact, for, like, you know, if you look at, like, some of the lore regarding, like, some of the ocean heroes, for example, like Songstress of the Sea, Necrolord, you know, your buddy old pal Night Raven, like, they're all tied together. There's a group of grassland people, so, like, Prima Donna, Master Cook, and Child of Light, kind of know each other. Sea Squire is part of the ocean. Apparently, Sea Squire eats people. Yeah, pretty much. I don't even have Sand Sage, so I don't actually have her story. I kind of quit buying heroes after a certain point, but I still read them from time to time. That doesn't surprise me. I just know that, like, big picture is, right, we have 3 heroes that give wonder bonuses. We have, like, a couple heroes that give training, HP, and attack. And then we have some heroes, like Big Guy, for example, is, weirdly enough, from a land of giants. He comes from a different realm. So Magmaroid and Elementalist and Big Guy are from completely different realms. So there's no telling what is back there. We don't even know what else there is. The funny thing about Big Guy is that Big Guy is a human-sized giant. You know, so we don't know if there are more giants. We don't know what lives in the land of giants. You know, Dark Follower, for example, is a human being that was trapped inside Sanctuary, and then he left Sanctuary as a slave from the darkness and shit. So, like, Dark Follower and Twilight Priestess, their stories all kind of refer back to Nox. And the weird thing about Nox is he's also mentioned for Necrolord. And the thing is it's like you start to understand that whoever Nox is involved in all the major events that happen in the entire, like, storyline of the lore of the game. Because Snow Queen inadvertently actually gets the humans into starting the wars. And then, conveniently, not long after that, you know, because you've got people like Oathkeeper, for example, that kind of just, you know, they came from the kingdom and they went out to fight. But you got, like, Anderson, who, you know, basically he paid the price of immortality. And it's interesting because he's basically a wizard that tried to save the world from extra-dimensional threats. The weird thing about that is that those interdimensional threats that he's referring to are Magmaroid and Elementalist. Now, obviously, there's, you know, a bunch of monsters and stuff like that we still haven't seen as familiars. And I get the sneaking hunch that as they do these collaborations and shit, we're probably going to see more human heroes, and we may even start to see some of the mini, like, arcanists that are within Nox. I don't know to what extent they'll expand on, like, kind of the tribes in the north with, like, Berserker and, you know, Barbarian, you know, but they might expand on that. But, like, all these heroes all kind of generally, if we had a map, they all go to a certain area of the world. And if a person could, like, visualize that map, it would make it a lot easier for people to understand, like, where these heroes are coming from in a way. So that you can kind of understand the context of where things are in relation. I mean, the biggest thing that you can take from this whole conversation, really, is just that Nox is the big evildoer that actually caused a lot of the harm and damage that happens. Like, a lot of people might think Death Knight, and you'd think Death Knight's the bad guy, but Nox is the guy behind the scenes that makes, like, Death Knight possible. Like, the magic that Nox has is responsible for what has caused, you know, the darkness to appear up on the map. Like Nox is the guy that corrupted and made, Fenrir, which is your, that the wolf, is like he's responsible for like the lichens for existing, and becoming over maddened by like what they're driven by. He's responsible for creating Necrolord, who became incredibly obsessed with money and wealth and power and taking over the oceanic kingdoms. And weirdly enough, like Ethereal Guide, for example, and Curse Hunter, both, they kind of live within on the ocean. And there's kind of a weird back-to-back between like Songstress, Curse Hunter, and Ethereal Guide that kind of tie together. And so does Boommeister, because they're all on the ocean. Their stories are kind of interlinked in a way that, like, I don't necessarily think a lot of people put a lot of thought into. I'm sure some people are like, oh yeah, there's no lore there, dude. You're just coming up with shit on the fly. But like literally, I'm tying this shit together from the stories that they have. I think it's pretty cool. Like, it's interesting to see that, that there's at least some logic in behind those stories for those heroes, and they're actually tying them together in some capacity. But now, whether will we actually see the actual lore and IP in a context outside of where they're at now, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they plan on doing in the future, though, because I think it's an unexplored opportunity. Yeah, that's true. Is when you go to C9 that Nox had taken notice. That's true. Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is we've never actually found... I don't think we know who Elora is yet, do we? That's another... Because we know it's Miltina, but I don't think we've seen Miltina yet. Now, we don't necessarily know who killed, his estranged elf. Light Reaver, right? Right. Because Elora is Light Reaver, right? Shapeshifter is interesting too, and so is Dark Magister. Like, the stories of Dark Magister and Shapeshifter are kind of interesting. Like, there's also another universe I should mention that is unique to. So, like, Petite Devil is part of this, what I call, like, Candyland universe. And that Candyland universe that exists is the same thing that Shapeshifter's from. Like, Petite Devil and Shapeshifter have a story that's in the same area. Yeah, Shapeshifter is like, there's some pretty messed up shit going on there. And that's just a different realm. I mean, that's outside the scope of what a lot of people realize, but Shapeshifter's story is pretty messed up. I just think it's interesting because, if you look at, even now, I'm going to go to the tier rewards to read her story real quick, since I don't actually have her as a hero, but I think I can get to her medal from here. Yeah. So the story, in case anybody didn't know, Shapeshifter's name is Lilith, of all things. And the name is, another litter arrives, spilling confetti on the floor and notifying him of Lake's demise by drowning. Not her best joke. She enjoyed taunting him from the beginning, saving him for the very end. He remembered the young woman she used to be, the young woman he and his colleagues had experimented on. She was frightened then, pleading with him to end her suffering, but he ignored her, obsessed with thoughts of fame and fortune should the experiment succeed. The last time he saw her, her powers had manifested, and the terrified look in her eyes was replaced by maniacal glee and hatred as she tore through laboratory, screaming knock-knock jokes. She's coming for me. He was now the only one left. He wondered how she would do it, and hoped his death would at least make for a good punchline. Right. And then the ancient object and the thing that she or she touched is kind of an interesting conversation in and of itself. But yeah, it's like when you look at like shapeshifter in particular, she has like a crystal in the back and her back, and it's like a magical crystal of some kind. The funny thing is, though, is you see those crystals in a couple of different places. There's kind of a weird thing going on there, to tell you the truth. It opens a lot of question marks. The more a person like pokes around in there. But like Dark Magister in particular, I always thought maybe that was in reference to Twilight Priestess, maybe. But I don't think so. But I always thought that could possibly be. But she's just a priestess, so I don't think she's in any way involved with Dark Magister, I don't think. So that's another character that like could be a thing that we haven't seen yet. So I don't know. I mean, just big picture though, it's just a lot of the heroes in the game. There is kind of a story there. It's just I bring it up because it's just something that I keep finding interesting every time I poke around in it. Yeah, and if you read about Child of Light, there's kind of a similar story being told there, which is that something is attacking the woodlands. Like Grove Guardian gets into an operation to fight against whatever's attacking the forest. Like there's a bunch of creatures that are basically rising up to defend the woodlands, but part of it is, I think, the humans, because there's mention of them burning the forests. And then there's also the fact that, like, lycanthropy and stuff like that going on with Fenrir. That there's kind of, like, the reasoning behind it is because of Nox's doing. Like, they were in peace until the humans went to war. But then the Arcanists, which were, like, Snow Queen and Incinerator and their gang, They got crazy, and they, like, destroyed and kind of driven these people by, like, madness in such a way that then it, like, all kind of blew over, and they destroyed everything in their wake, which kind of sad, but like, I mean, you can kind of start to understand where they're coming from. The other thing, too, though, is it's like when you look at, like, oh gosh, where is that guy? I think it's like, it's not, I don't know if it is or not. Because, yeah, Fenrir was one of the leaders of the Cult of Darkness, and Toilet Priestess was as well. I wonder if there's anything. I don't remember. One of these has it mentioned. I just don't know which one it is. Like Femme Fatale is really straightforward. It's just, oh, she's a vampire. Like, okay. No ifs or buts about that. She's just that, a vampire. Death Knight's story is just like a story of a guy chasing immortality, goes into a cave and then turns into into a monster, which it's kind of like, it's like, okay, he's a human who turned into a skeleton raised by the dead, like, don't really know if there's a full story there, but it's I guess it should be worth mentioning is Thalia is probably also part of the, or Lore Weaver for that matter, is part of the Woodlands faction. I think Stormfox is another one that's kind of interesting because she's part of the Kitsune village. She's like another one of those characters that's not human though, which is kind of weird. Yeah, Pegasus just exists. Pegasus is really not a hero so much as he's more of a collaboration hero. So I don't consider him part of the IP. Pegasus is just a different IP, is the thing. So he's just he just exists. He's more of like, kind of like when they added like, castle skins. It's just an error on their part, I think, in part, when they made the decision to do that, it just didn't really make sense within the context of Lords. But for the people that they were collaborating with, I'm sure it was kind of necessary by contract because of the way they had set it up. And so it kind of just worked for them. But, from the outside perspective, it doesn't really make any sense. I don't think it was supposed to. Which I guess in the grand scheme of things is fine, it's just kind of the story, more or less. Only got 5 hours until Kingdom Clash. I'm trying to think of what exactly I want to do differently. One thing I'm probably going to do, since I'll be trapping and stuff like that, but I'll probably explore this some too. I just haven't really decided on what I'm going to do exactly, but something I'm going to explore is, so basically on my alt, right, if assuming I get this mythic cut before KVK even begins, the one thing I want to try here is see if I can actually trap somebody. I'm hoping we can. I'm also hoping that we don't get ourselves like completely flabbergasted right away, but you never know. Hopefully it doesn't turn into like a sour sauce, because it could. You're zeroed, so you're gonna feel forwards. Ah! Yes, I know that feeling. I've been there, done that. I used to garrison trap when I was zeroed. Had a lot of fun doing that. Because all I had to do was get an ult. Didn't have to be a very big ult either. It only had to be like a couple million might. Fill it up to the brim in resources, and then I just poured it around. Acted like a bank that forgot to shield. Which obviously that isn't a red flag, right? But people usually fell for it because you would just sit there, port by the by the Wonder Forest even, set a 4-hour shield and just let it run out on its own. And your bot players would jump all over that shit in an instant. And the funny thing is I didn't even have to send a solo to it right away. I just wait until a bunch of people started sending, and then because you have so many arrows, they just assume the arrows are in reference to their, somebody that's trying to steal their shit. And they don't really think for a minute that could be a garrison. So then you get all these marches coming through that are infantry, and I just turn around and have the alt random, and I'll lead all their damn marches that are infantry with a cav march. And boy, oh boy, man, in some of the pulls that I've done doing that, I used to get a shitload of points in KVK doing that. And I trolled the piss out of people doing that, to the point where I remember even people just going out of their way to like point out, don't hit that, that's not a bank. That's a trap. I know it doesn't look like it has any troops, I swear. It's a bad idea. And the funny thing is obviously people would get, they'd pick up on what I was doing, after I had done it once or twice. But then they thought they were going to outsmart me and start sending range. It's like, no, I'll just send infantry. Okay, inf on inf, I'll win. You send range, then I win. The only time I'd ever get boozled is if you sent cav, but almost nobody ever sends cav. But even then, that to me was kind of like that was a fun back-to-back that I would do with people. I got 3 different Gryphon pulls in 2 hours? Damn. Yeah, see, that's another whole different animal that, I've always wondered what combinations people are using for Gryphons, because when I was using Gryphons, we were doing, like, the maximum amount of T4, and then if we had a little T2 buffer, we might have done it, but most of the time you had mostly T4, and then maybe a tiny sprinkle of, buffer in there, just to cover the very basic amount of it, but most of it was all T4s. because you needed it for the trap to work. I mean, I remember even people throwing in T3 just because they thought that that would at least give them something, but that's a comp that I haven't even really thought about, because most of the marches that I see now, they have 8 marches each, and say they have 375k a pop. It means you're only going to siphon around 2.5 million. Now that we have 100% army size boosts, I'm sure somebody could conceivably make it much bigger than that, though. But even then, it's just like, a little wacky. Just a little. But I'm sure somebody will do it, though. It's just, ugh. Well, slow trips have to take 500k solos against Titans sometimes. People like Rolf go 500k P or T5 and it wrecks everything. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little fucky. Somebody can send a full 500k solo. That's a little fucky. Especially all T5. God damn. That's actually kind of mind-boggling, actually, and the more I think about that. That's a lot. I imagine his heal bill is probably a nightmare, but each their own, I guess. Well, he has almost 1,500? Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at, like, some of the top-end players, man, it is absolutely wacky how some of those guys have gotten to where they are now. And they're maxed out, so, I mean, obviously they're pushing the frickin' envelope as far as what can be possible. Just nuts. Oh, lordy. Lordy. I just want my damn uncommon halos, damn it. Quit giving me all this other junk. I want the fucking uncommon, man. There you go. Now give me the other one. No! It's not what I asked for. Oh well. So much for the streamer look, I guess. I'll just have to wait. Probably can't nitpick it that much. You see the Lube account overview or the bit? Those are the two most tech. You know, actually, I have seen Lube's account overview, but Biggie, I didn't think I've or BLGY. I say Biggie, but you know, whatever. Either way, I don't think I've seen Biggie though. I've seen Lube though. Lube is pretty freaking ridiculous, but I'll have to take a look and see what the overview for Bilgy, Bilgy. Or Biggie. I think Biggie just makes more sense. I could be wrong, but that's officially the name that I'm going with now. So. Well. Making headway, but it's just taking its time. The imp one before she sold. Okay. Alright, let's take a looky here. Alright, so what do we have? So we've got maxed out Castle Stars, 22,000 chests of every kind, a stupid amount of speed ups, a stupid amount of everything. The amount of carpets is actually kind of mind-boggling, but that's actually a stupid amount. 90 million gems. Maxed out everything, obviously. Whoa, 695 million royal points. Jeez. Jeez, and then obviously they've got maxed artifacts. Wow, okay, so what's the stats on that look like? 139%? Jesus. A lot. Extra 100%. And then you got the champ pieces and everything else on top of that. God damn. Yeah, that's stacked. The irony in this is he has multiple helms, though. It's not like he's got just one. No, he's got multiple noble helms. Wow. 671% army attack. 927% army HP. Yeah, that's broke. Broke as fuck. 900% nymph and cav. Oh fucking Jesus. 500 across. Yeah, that was on Biggies. That's on Biggies, dude. That's fucking nuts. I was looking at some of these. That's fucking ridiculous, dude. Okay, let me look at Lou Beto, because that is actually fucking broken. Let's look at Lou Beto here. Look. Hello, 9. Hello. Oh, it is out of date? Yeah, well, it was ridiculous a year ago. It doesn't change anything yet. For it to be a year old, it's still ridiculous. Yeah, obviously, yeah, Lube's got all these maxed out. This was 2 weeks ago, so this is fairly recent. Yeah, obviously got all the skins done. Troop comp's got a fucky though. He has like no range. He's got a lot of troops and he has hardly any range. What the fuck? Obviously he's got everything maxed out in the Verge and all that. Got Noble Helm and he's got multiple pieces and yeah, okay. Wait till I see the Sanctuary. Yeah, that Sanctuary is probably fucking ridiculous. Imp gear. Max free boost is 25, 50. Holy shit, that's a lot of stats for Fury. 1440 infantry. 800% infantry. Holy fuck, dude, that's a lot. Especially in one unit type. 1300 range. Yikes. What's cap? 1500? Jesus. What's the travel speed at? 383. Jesus. Okay, that's actually nutty. 900% HP though. Wow. Mixed sets reasonable, I guess, but goddamn. 950, 800, and 700, and that's just a mix. Wow. Let's get to the point where we see a sanctuary. Okay, that's 216 million. And that's all T5. Wow, that's fucking wild. So he can just at any given time, since they're en route, he can just hit collect and then he's got 3 million T5 out of nowhere. That's okay, wow. Not to flex or anything, obviously, but jeez. Well, that's fucking ridiculous. Holy crap. Huh. Alright, well. Yeah, that's a lot. That's like a little excessive. God damn. Well, oh, I'd be damned. That is actually crazy. God damn. Yeah, probably. That is just ridiculous. For them to be like popping off like that though, like goddamn. We can send progress, that just takes a while. You'd probably a mix, I would think. I don't know if it would. That's a good question, actually. But I would assume it's mix. Hmm. Yeah, I would think if pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you got that many troops in your sanctuary, you're pretty much set for life. You can just sit there and go, well, oh well. Like it doesn't, it kind of renders the whole point. Render, yeah, just. Hmm. I wonder how many more we'll need until we get it, but we gotta be getting close. Maddie sold, so his account's under the name Lawrence Y, but LH still has pretty. Oh. Did not know Maddie left. Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Go attack someone. Yeah, in the middle of a fucking tycoon spree. Hey, just stop what you're doing. Go fucking attack somebody. Oh shit. Yeah, you're funny. How much would a 5-piece sell for? Last time I saw for sale was a 2-piece. That was like 113k. I don't know, man. That's a great question. I'm not sure. I'm sure that a lot of the people that spend a stupid amount of money are probably wanting north of 200k, probably. Whether they get that or not, though, I don't know. Hmm. Oh, getting there. Still not another jackpot, but I mean, we're getting there. Basil is a 1-piece imp. Oh. Well, I mean, that's kind of how a lot of imps get created, though. It's because somebody thinks they've got the bag, and then, lo and behold, they do not. Hmm. Yeah. There's a guy that won imp from a closed kingdom, the proper imp, not the new blue Dominion blue imp. And you would have thought of LH learned their lesson with Basil winning previous imp, but nope. Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me either. I mean, the thing is, I was looking at like the numbers on Kingdom 888, right? Which just happens to be the kingdom that KDM and LH are in. And I kid you not, the like Lord's Marble Cartographer website, which does like an average, like the number of players in every kingdom, also happens to have an average of the number of bot players. And I have like 12,000 total players in that kingdom. More than half of them are bots. And I just couldn't help but chuckle at that. It's like, well, so what you're really telling me is there's realistically only 6,000 people in that kingdom. The other 6,000 are out to kick your ass because they're computers. It's like, oh, did not know that. But, you know, go figure. Yeah, the shieldbot's kind of a... definitely does add to that. I mean, because you'll have enough players that go around waiting for people to unshield. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but... No one. That's interesting. GG still hasn't acknowledged that. Yeah. Yeah, their answer to most problems usually is, yeah, that's bad, it's bad, but then they don't do they don't actually enforce it. You know, it's the funny thing about them. Like, oh, is he paying us? Okay, don't care. We'll give him a slap on the, a slap on the back and say, hey, quit making people know what you're doing. Yeah, you suck at cheating. Cheat better, damn it. Oh my god, say GG. I swear to god, sometimes. That's what it feels like. Anyway. After a certain point, it's just like, okay, fuck. What do I know? Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that are salty about, the bot being used and shit, and for good reason. It's kind of annoying when you know someone had taken advantage of something in the game and used it, and then not get reprimanded for it in any way. But at the same time, it just goes to show that it's like the game has developed into that over the years, and people are probably more accepting of bots now than they used to be, in part because of the lack of enforcement on their part. So when people get salty about it, it's like, you either get salty at the people or you join them, and a lot of them are just joining them now. Rather than fight it, they're like, well, if this is the meta, and the only way to fight fire is with fire, then, rather than counteract the problem, which is really what they need to be doing, but they choose not to, and so then you sit there and wonder why people decide to do what they do. It's a force of habit. Those that have advantages are going to abuse those advantages, even if that advantage is unethical. Well, I mean, it's not even that, you have to hack their server. The moment you start doing something that hits their bottom line, that's when they give a shit in the day. Like if somebody was to, start pointing out that, hey, this bot is causing me to quit the game and there's a large number of users leaving the game, that would hit their bottom line and they'd probably care. But the problem is that it's not doing that. People that get zero just pick up where they left off. So, in a way, for them, it's just an accelerated way of getting people to lose troops, which is more money in their pocket. So, for them, the incentive is not there. Why would they want to prevent you to not spend more money? So you have to find excuses for them to understand from a financial perspective why this is not sustainable and why this should not be allowed. And I don't know what kind of Krakatoa it will take for that to come to fruition, but it will happen one of these days. When it does, though, the problem is it'll be like a mountain that once it starts going downhill, like a blizzard and a gigantic fucking snowstorm and a goddamn list of, terrible things, there's just nothing they can do to stop, the amount of pressure that comes along with that. Yeah. I mean, it definitely, when they added that, they were definitely trying to keep people. That's for sure. And the reasoning behind that, I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. They fixed the free gym lab win though. And anyone getting any free gyms? This is true. Yep, there's another 100k. Yep. We're looking for a mill though, but I'll take it. You know, it's just, I shrug. You know, like, it's not quite what I had in mind, but that's fine. I'll take it. You know. Yeah. 100k. Which I don't know. We could probably take a quick glance and see what our gym count is. See how many rares we have too. So we are now at 743,000 gems and 7 out of 13 on the golds. So we're getting there, guys. Not quite there yet, but we're getting there. Gonna get there, guys. I promise. We will get there. We're getting there. Alright. Alrighty. Roughly, yes, but it's a little higher. It's like around 500, but it can vary. It can go up to like 600 sometimes. But it's definitely not quite 500. Like, not dead on. More like midway, my opinion. But it's around that amount. I'd say that, you know, based on how many tokens I've done, though, I'd say that average is probably about right. Like around 500. But it's definitely not like lower. It's not like 450 or 465. It's like more like 500. 520, 550 sometimes. But it's definitely north of that number, as opposed to being lower. But it's also RNG based, and so I say that, and it's like, you know, that varies from person to person. So you may get luckier, you also may get unlucky, depending on where you're at on this. So it's like, I say that, but, you know, how much is actually gonna, you know, wake up into fruition, I have no idea. Making good progress though. Getting good loot. Alright, we'll just keep on letting it go. Wheel. Making her runway there. Go. You do have like a fair amount of gems. Yeah, the update is we have 7 out of 13 right now to a mythic cut. So we're almost there. We're getting there though. It just takes a while. Some headway it looks like, but it's just it's just a little slower than I'd rather prefer, but it is what it is. Um, One thing that kind of comes to mind, though, as far as KVK goes, is I plan on probably trapping a... Well, the way I like to trap, right, is I like to kind of like just sit in a corner, but usually I'll put myself outside the hive and just kind of float. What do you guys do? That's my question. Do any of you guys trap? And if you do, what do you do? How do you do it? I, for one, I've always wondered if anybody's ever come up with clever ways. Like, I noticed not that long ago, I, like, joined a rally with this account one time, and this guy just immediately assumed it was an empty account and soloed it. That was a surprise for him, I'm sure. He wasn't really prepared for that. You know, because he was expecting that to be a super easy walkthrough. You know, he figured he'd just solo my ass and he'd be like, see, fuck out of here. You know, but he was like, oh, whoops. He didn't know how bad because he was getting that lead back anytime soon. Well, I suppose while we're just kind of messing around with this, let's see here. Okay. Well, looks like they can probably buy the next 1,000 tokens. We can take a look and see what we get. This is an interesting concept. Alrighty. Well, this could conceivably go on for a while. It's really hard to fathom out how much 10,000 is until you like do it a couple of times, and then you're like, Jesus Christ, man, this is gonna take a whole fucking day. Give me uncommon, damn it. Give me the uncommon. Darn you. Give me the uncommon, don't give me all this garbage. God damn it. I still have it, Jonathan. It has not disappeared. I still have it. I'm just working on this account, is all. This has become my pet project. And my pet project is almost done. So I say that every time, and then I turn around and go, oh, I need to work on my pet project more. Can't stop there. No, gotta keep going, you know. It's just, you know, it's like I started with stream. I was like, I'm gonna do 23,000 tokens. Never mind, I'm gonna make that 30,000. Not quite there yet. Hold on, need to dump another 7 million gems into the game so I can get my second mythic cap. Just give me a second. You know, forget the ridiculousness of the number. Just, you know, let it be. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Here we are. On hold. But we will most certainly get our mythic cap. That we will most certainly do. Ah, yes, another uncommon. Ooh, gems. Yay. Alright, another 1300. Cool. One mythic champ and now on the 6th. Yeah, I mean, I got my gold faith today, so happy about that. I'm trying to make some, like, kind of scripts, I guess, to videos that I'm planning on my head. So I think I'll make a video regarding how to create a rally traps. There's a bunch of people ask all the time. I might as well just make one of my own with my own bits and pieces, you know, thrown in it. I'll probably also make a video on how to beat one too, because I feel like there's a lot of videos on telling you how to make one, not very many that tell you how to beat one. I know one way to beat a rally trap, which is that you send mixed rallies and you set them up with timers. And then if you really want to screw with them, then what you do is you basically jack up your travel speed to a stupid high number, and then you march on their ass. And if you can get multiple rallies in, then yeah, you'll fucking screw them up. All sorts of messy. And if you don't give them a hint as to what march you're rallying in, then you're gonna have a double whammy there. We're gonna check at 8,000 though here to see what we have. Basically what I've decided is every 1,000 tokens we'll just take a look and see what we got. That way we don't go too heavy into one or another if it turns out we already get our cup. And that way we'll definitively know how many tokens roughly it took to get to the cup. Catching up on artifacts, and with the new set of artifacts, I'm out of playing lords, just locking yesterday because RPS rally. Yeah, artifacts are kind of a hefty toll that, frankly, I don't know if a person could really keep up with. I'm saving mine till I get like a mill, and then I'll probably burn them all. If I've learned anything, it's that hoarding them is a better strategy than not hoarding them. You'll find the benefit of hoarding them to be better than not hoarding them. And it makes sense, because if you hoard them, you'll get all the rewards during the events when they come along. If you hoard a shitload of them, you'll have perks, advantages. It's a fucking cheat code, basically, is what it is. What have you eaten? Not yet. Why? Well, what do you want to do? Yeah, but where? Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll run this while I'm gone, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, but I've got 8,000 tokens to go, and I will be back before KVK begins. I'm not gonna show you guys the rest of it, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm boring myself out just watching this, and I'm sure some of you are probably bored and have left already, so not to bore anybody else further. I will tell you what the rewards and shit like are when I get back, so it'll be around 6 probably. And then we'll just kind of go from there then. So, thank you guys for dropping by. But ultimately, we're going to go ahead and head out, and we'll just go from there. So, see you guys.